Welcome, the rare gems. For Sigma women, forgiveness is their gift to themselves, not a favor to you. If you identify as a Sigma female, you already know forgiveness isn't something you hand out like candy. You don't forgive easily, not because you're bitter or unkind, but because you protect your energy fiercely. You've learned that forgiveness isn't about fixing someone else. It's about protecting yourself from being hurt again. You're not here to sweep pain under the rug or pretend everything's okay just to keep the peace. You see things clearly. You notice the patterns, the repeated disrespect, the small betrayals that others might overlook. You don't rush to forgive because you value your peace more than empty apologies or social expectations. Being a Sigma female means you've built walls, not to isolate yourself but to guard your worth. It means you don't settle for less than you deserve, and you don't tolerate being treated like an option. Your strength comes from self-awareness, from understanding that sometimes forgiveness is not about them. It's about you letting go in your own time, in your own way. So if you find yourself holding back forgiveness, don't see it as a flaw. See it as a sign of wisdom, growth, and self-respect. You're a Sigma female, which means you're not here to play by others' rules or rush to heal wounds on their timeline. You choose peace, clarity, and boundaries over empty words, and that choice, that's your power. Let's get started, the rare gems. Number 1. They replace you with peace. Here's something that hits differently when it comes to Sigma females. They don't beg for closure. They don't chase explanations. They don't sit around waiting for someone to finally say what should have been said a long time ago. When someone crosses the line, disrespects their trust, or brings chaos into their life, they don't go after the person. They go after peace. While most people are busy trying to fix the broken pieces of a relationship or squeeze out one last apology, a Sigma female is already choosing herself. She doesn't need dramatic goodbyes or long-winded conversations. If the energy is off, if the loyalty is broken, or if the vibe turns toxic, she quietly removes herself and replaces that space with something better: calm, silence, and clarity. And let's be honest, this messes people up. Because they expect tears, they expect confrontation, they expect her to ask, "Why did you do this to me?" But instead she's off somewhere drinking her coffee, journaling, minding her business, and not mentioning your name ever again. It's not ego. It's not pride. It's self-respect. She knows peace isn't something she negotiates for. It's something she protects. And if your presence threatened that peace even once, she will walk away without blinking twice. You see, forgiveness might feel good to some, but to her, peace feels better. She doesn't need to keep people around just because they once mattered. She doesn't carry old emotional debts. She clears them and moves on. So when a Sigma female replaces you with peace, don't take it lightly. It means she's already made her decision. No yelling, no revenge, just quiet detachment and a heart that refuses to be disturbed again. And once she finds that peace, there's no going back. Not for you, not for anyone. Number 2, they see apologies as currency, and they don't need handouts. Most people hear, "I'm sorry," and take it as a sign of maturity, a peace offering, a way to move forward. But for Sigma females, it's just words, and words alone don't mean much. To them, apologies are like currency. And let's be real, not all currency holds value. They've seen too many people apologize not because they truly feel guilty, but because they got caught, or because they fear losing access. That's not remorse, that's damage control. A Sigma female has sharp emotional radar. She can sense the difference between an apology that's rooted in reflection and one that's just a quick fix to ease guilt or maintain control. So no, she doesn't fall for sweet words, fake regret, or the classic "I didn't mean to hurt you." Because guess what? You did. And she noticed. She also doesn't make herself emotionally available just because someone shows up with a few sentences and some puppy dog eyes. That's not enough. She needs changed behavior, genuine effort, and deep accountability. And even then, forgiveness isn't guaranteed. Here's the truth. She doesn't need your apology to move on. She doesn't sit around hoping you'll own up. If you do, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Either way, she's not waiting. She's not for sale. Her forgiveness can't be bought, and her respect isn't something you get back just because you finally feel bad. So if you thought a few "I'm sorries" would earn you a second chance, think again. A Sigma female isn't impressed by emotional handouts. She's too grounded for that. And once she sees you clearly for who you are, no apology in the world can undo what she's already accepted. Number 3. They use betrayal as a mirror. Sigma females don't waste time drowning in self-pity when someone betrays them. They don't spiral into the usual "why did they do this to me" loop. Instead, they take a brutally honest look in the mirror and ask, "What did I miss?" That's the difference. They don't see betrayal as a reason to chase apologies or demand closure. They see it as a signal something slipped past their guard, and they want to know how. What blind spot did they overlook? What subtle warning did they ignore? What softness was mistaken for weakness? They don't ask these questions to beat themselves up. They ask them to sharpen their instincts. They're not interested in playing victim. They're interested in making sure it never happens again. So while others are obsessing over how unfair the betrayal was, a Sigma female is already adjusting her boundaries, tightening her circle, and recalibrating her emotional radar. She's not looking for revenge. She's not hoping for reconciliation. Forgiveness isn't even on her list, because the damage isn't just emotional, it's informational. It exposed something she needs to fix within herself. And that's exactly what she does, quietly, powerfully, without telling a soul. This self-check isn't about taking blame for someone else's behavior. It's about accountability for her access control. She learns, adapts, and upgrades her inner filter so the next person with bad intentions never even gets close. So when a Sigma female gets betrayed, don't expect tears and second chances. Expect silence. Expect distance. Expect a stronger version of her to rise up. Because to her, betrayal isn't a tragedy. It's a tool, a mirror, a lesson. And she doesn't stay broken. She rebuilds with better bricks. Number 4. They treat forgiveness as a private ritual, not a social expectation. Forgiveness, for a Sigma female, isn't a grand gesture. It's not a scene. It's not something she owes you, and it's definitely not something you'll get to witness just because you said, "I'm sorry." If she ever forgives you, which isn't guaranteed, it won't be posted, announced, or handed over like a reward. It happens privately, silently, and strictly on her terms, and most of the time, you'll never even know it happened. That's intentional. To her, forgiveness is about letting go, but not to bring the relationship back, not to make you feel better, not to soothe guilt. She does it purely for one reason: to clear her own emotional space, to keep her peace clean, to make sure your actions don't take up permanent room in her head. You see, she understands that holding on to resentment gives someone power, and Sigma females don't give power away, not even to their enemies. So if she decides to forgive, it's a spiritual detox, not an invitation to reconnect. She's not forgiving you to fix anything. She's forgiving you to release everything. And if you're waiting for a conversation, a second chance, or a dramatic "I forgive you" moment, don't hold your breath. It's not coming. She might nod if she sees you in public. She might even be polite, but deep down, she's already sealed that chapter. Forgiveness in her world isn't performative, it's personal, it's quiet, it's done in the dark, where real growth happens. So if you ever wonder whether a Sigma female forgave you, you'll never really know. Because her peace isn't for your closure, it's for her freedom, and once she finds it, she moves on, with or without you knowing. Number 5. They withdraw respect, not just attention. When a Sigma female is done with you, it's not just about ignoring your texts or pulling back her time. It goes way deeper. She doesn't just ghost you. She mentally removes you from the level you once stood on. You don't get to be her equal anymore. You don't get to hold the same weight in her mind. Because once you show her who you really are, disrespectful, dishonest, disloyal, she quietly withdraws the one thing you probably didn't even realize you had, her respect. And make no mistake, when a Sigma female loses respect for someone, it's permanent. She may still be polite, she may still nod when you speak, but internally you've already been downgraded to a life lesson. Not an enemy, not a friend, just a reminder of what she'll never tolerate again. She doesn't have to scream or curse you out. Her silence says more than any argument ever could. That moment you crossed the line. That was the moment she looked at you differently, and once her view shifts, there's no going back. This is what sets her apart. She doesn't react for the sake of ego. She detaches for the sake of clarity. And the scariest part? She doesn't need closure, revenge, or drama. She just changes how she sees you, and from that point on, you're no longer someone she values. Have you ever heard someone say, "They lost my respect"? That's not just a phrase, that's a Sigma move, and once she's done respecting you, trust me, you've already lost her for good. Number 6. They don't teach lessons, they leave examples. Sigma females aren't here to play the role of your personal life coach. They're not going to sit you down, walk you through your mistakes, and help you understand why you lost them. That kind of emotional labor. That's not in their job description. If you mess up, if you cross a line, if you show them that you can't be trusted, you're out. Not with a warning, not with a long conversation, but with silence and distance. And the worst part, you'll never really know the exact moment it happened. One day, you had access. The next, you didn't. That's the Sigma way. They don't teach you the lesson. They become the lesson. You'll be left replaying every interaction, overthinking every text, wondering what shifted. That confusion, that mental loop of "what did I do?" That is your consequence. They don't waste energy trying to correct your behavior. They just vanish from your world and let the absence speak louder than words ever could. See, a Sigma female knows that true power isn't in trying to fix people. It's in removing herself and letting the loss of her presence do the work. She understands that if someone really valued her, they wouldn't have put themselves in a position to lose her in the first place. And trust this, by the time you're looking for answers, she's already 2 steps ahead, building a better environment surrounded by people who don't need to be taught how to treat her. So no, she's not going to lecture you. She'll just become the one you never got back. An example you'll never forget. Number 7. They rebuild alone and come back sharper. When betrayal hits, most people run to their circle for comfort. They vent, seek validation, and ask for reassurance that they weren't wrong to feel hurt. But Sigma females, they take a completely different route. They don't look outward, they go inward. They don't need a crowd to help them process pain. They don't need people hyping them up or confirming they were mistreated. Instead, they retreat, mentally, emotionally, sometimes physically. Not to sulk, but to rebuild, quietly, strategically, alone. It's in that solitude where the transformation begins. While the world assumes she's nursing wounds, she's actually sharpening her mind, strengthening her emotional armor, reflecting on what slipped past her radar and reinforcing the boundaries that protect her peace. She's not just healing, she's upgrading. She's rewiring how she reads people. She's recalibrating her instincts. She's studying what she missed and promising herself she won't miss it again. And when she comes back, she's not the same version you hurt. She's a smarter, colder, more refined version who's no longer accessible in the same way. That's the part that stings for those who wronged her. They don't just lose her presence, they lose access to the softer version of her that once gave them the benefit of the doubt. So while others rush to move on with distractions and noise, Sigma females stay still and do the hard inner work. They don't patch up the cracks, they rebuild the entire foundation, and when they return, don't expect the same energy. She won't come back seeking closure. She'll come back with clarity, sharper eyes, tighter circles, higher standards, and zero tolerance for what once slipped through. Number 8, they don't do second chances, they do upgrades. Sigma females aren't in the business of handing out second chances like freebies. Break their trust once, and that's it. You're out. No drama, no argument, no announcement, just a quiet exit and a permanent upgrade. You see, Sigma females don't believe in recycling broken relationships. Once the trust is gone, they don't try to stitch it back together with hopeful thinking or what-ifs. They don't care how long you've known each other, how many memories you've shared, or how sorry you say you are. Loyalty is a one-time ticket, and if you waste it, it's revoked. No extensions, no grace period. But here's where it gets powerful. They don't just walk away. They level up. They take the pain, the disappointment, the betrayal, and use it as fuel to raise their standards, not just in relationships, but in life. They become more precise about who gets close, more confident in what they need, and more unapologetic about what they won't tolerate again. This is why Sigma females don't repeat cycles. They don't go back to people just to see if things changed. They know better. They've seen enough to understand that most people don't change. They just get better at hiding who they really are. And that's not good enough for her. So when she cuts ties, she doesn't look back. She surrounds herself with people who meet her new standards. People who value loyalty, not just talk about it. People who don't need to be warned twice. That's the Sigma mindset. No recycled connections. Only growth. Only upgrades. And if you once had a place in her life and lost it, understand this. You didn't just lose access. You lost the chance. Because Sigma females don't hit replay. They hit evolve. Number 9. They hold you to the standard you chose. Sigma females don't waste time begging people to be better. They watch what you do, not what you promise. If you chose to lie, betray, or disrespect them, they won't argue about it. They'll simply adjust, permanently. They're not interested in emotional gymnastics or trying to figure out why you did it. They won't psychoanalyze your childhood or excuse your behavior because you were going through something. No, they take your actions as data, and that data becomes your definition. In their world, it's simple. You revealed your standard. Now they're just holding you to it. If you showed you couldn't be trusted, then in their eyes, you're untrustworthy, period. They don't need to get angry or make a scene. They just shift how they engage with you. You're no longer someone they open up to, no longer someone they invest in, no longer someone they consider real. What's brutal but fair is that they won't punish you. They'll just reposition you. You go from inner circle to outer orbit without explanation, from valuable to background noise. They won't hate you, but they'll never see you the same again. And here's the kicker. Once that shift happens, it's final. You don't get a reset, because in their eyes, you chose your role. They just accepted it. This is how Sigma females protect their peace. They don't demand apologies or growth. They let people be who they are and adjust accordingly. So if you ever wonder why she went cold, why her energy changed, why you feel distant, it's not random. It's your own behavior echoing back at you. She's not holding a grudge. She's just holding you to the standard you set. Number 10. They leave no trail behind. When a Sigma female walks away, she doesn't slam doors or set fires. She doesn't need to ruin your name or broadcast the breakup. She leaves with the same calm precision she carried when she entered your life. Clean, quiet, complete. No messy confrontations. No second-hand drama. No desperate messages begging to be understood. She doesn't need attention to validate her decision. She's not trying to prove a point, because the point's already been made by how she disappears. She packs up her energy, pulls back her emotions, and takes her presence with her. And that's where the weight really hits. You don't realize what you lost until you feel the silence, until you realize no one's checking on you the way she did. No one's challenging your nonsense or seeing through your excuses. No one's giving you that rare mix of depth, strength, and loyalty anymore. She won't leave behind evidence of pain. She turns the page for good. No bookmarks, no loose ends. She cleans up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually before she exits. By the time you notice she's gone, she's already deep into her next chapter, elevating quietly, building better, and surrounding herself with people who see her clearly. And the only thing she leaves behind, a void, a memory, and that sharp echo of what it felt like to be truly seen before you ruined it. No trail, no mess, no return. That's how a Sigma female leaves. And once she's gone for good. Number 11. They don't lose sleep, they lose you. When a Sigma female walks away, don't expect her to be up at night questioning herself. She's not lying in bed overthinking what went wrong or replaying old conversations like a broken record. She doesn't lose sleep. She loses you. And to her, that's not a tragedy. It's a necessary cleanup. While most people get tangled in guilt, emotions, and second-guessing, Sigma females operate differently. They don't cling to chaos or try to resuscitate dying relationships. The moment they see a pattern of disrespect, lies, or emotional games, they don't explain it away. They handle it. Quietly. Permanently. To them, walking away from toxic energy isn't some dramatic breakup. It's housekeeping. It's like taking the trash out. You don't cry over it. You just do it, and your space feels lighter afterward. And no, this isn't coldness. It's clarity. It's knowing the difference between people who add peace and people who drain it. It's realizing that some connections aren't broken, they're just expired. Sigma females don't romanticize pain. They don't chase closure or beg for changed behavior. They see things for what they are, accept them fast, and act accordingly. It might shock people how fast they can detach, but that's the thing. They've been watching the signs long before the goodbye. When a Sigma female cuts you off, it's not impulsive, it's final. And while others expect a breakdown, she's already upgrading her life in silence. No sleepless nights, no emotional spirals, no endless texts or regrets. She values peace over presence. So if you ever wronged a Sigma and she disappeared without a fuss, understand, she didn't lose a thing, she simply cleared space. And for her, peace of mind is the best kind of revenge. In final words, forgiveness isn't weakness, it's a choice only made on your own terms. If you're a Sigma female, you already know this deep down. Forgiveness isn't a checkbox or a social script. It's not about handing out second chances or resetting the scoreboard for someone else's comfort. It's about protecting your energy, your peace, and your future. You don't forgive easily because you don't have time to waste on empty words or false promises. You don't carry grudges because you're smarter than that. You hold lessons, boundaries, and standards that shape how you move through life. Your strength lies not in forgetting the past, but in using it to sharpen your instinct and armor. You rebuild alone, you upgrade quietly, and you move forward with a clarity that few can match. You know that true peace doesn't come from reconciliation with those who hurt you. It comes from reclaiming your power and refusing to be a doormat for anyone's mistakes. So remember this, being a Sigma female means you honor yourself first, even when it's hard. It means you don't need to explain your silence or justify your distance. It means you walk your path with fierce independence and uncompromising self-respect. If you feel misunderstood for not just forgiving, know this. You're not cold, you're wise. You're not unforgiving, you're selective with your energy. And that's your superpower. Hold on to that, own it. Because the world needs more Sigma females who refuse to settle for less than they deserve, and who prove that sometimes not forgiving is the bravest, smartest choice of all. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.